Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your PSHE session. So today we are going to look briefly at the 5 areas that are on the slide. You'll be talked through these areas with a PowerPoint so that you can see the information on the slide and also hear a little bit of a voiceover. Once we're back at school, you will have more detailed sessions which will go into these areas and add some meat on the bones. But for now, we'd like to give you the key points for each of these sessions. Enjoy! Hi everyone, Mrs. Jones here. So this part of the session is about wellbeing. So I want to talk to you about what we mean when we talk about wellbeing, how things might affect your mental health and mental health illnesses we need to be aware of, and then some tips and strategies to help improve our levels of wellbeing. So the aims of the session are to go through emotions and how we talk about our emotions, to look at how different situations impact on our and other people's mental health, to look at a few of the common mental ill health terms, and to understand the benefits of and importance of physical exercise, and also to understand self-care, what that is and how it can assist in feeling happy. To do this, we need to understand what we mean when we say well-being. So there's a little definition in that top right-hand corner. It talks about the state of you being comfortable, healthy, or happy. Other definitions also include you coping and feeling okay to go about your daily functions. Okay, so this first slide talks about emotions. I want you to remember that we all have a range of emotions. We all need to understand how to talk about these accurately and sensitively. This might be about yourself or somebody else, but to be sensitive and understanding that different people feel different things at different times and that is okay. So if we look at the graphic on the right hand side, hopefully you can see the flower diagram, and in the centre the colours are more intense where the emotions are more intense, and this decreases as it goes down the scale and the colours get lighter. So each petal looks at one area of emotions with different levels within that colour. Everyone has a scale of emotions that all humans experience in relation to different situations. How you respond to something is individual. If you notice changes in behaviour, mood, or feelings, whether this be in yourself or somebody else, this could be an indication that you might need some more support, and often is. If you start to feel differently about a certain situation and your emotions change, please make sure you access support. Tell a trusted adult, whether this is a parent or guardian, and use the support services available in school. It always helps to talk about emotions. Okay, so this slide is all about evaluating the impact. And what this means is about us learning to how to respond to a situation. So assessing that situation, that activity, that conversation, and deciding what effect that has on our own and other people's mental health. So some situations are positive and they make us feel happy, but other situations are not so positive. So we need to learn to recognise which ones of these help us, which ones of these don't help us, and learn how to deal with these in the right way. We also need to learn how to judge our behaviours and try and make sure that what we do is balanced and the appropriate behaviour for that certain situation. So an idea of how you might go about this is to use a scaling activity. So that is thinking about a situation and thinking about where on the scale that makes you feel. So it might be the scale of worry, it might be the scale of stress, whatever that scale might be for you. So if I think of an example at the moment, so that might be going to the supermarket. So it's a fairly normal activity in terms of everybody needs to eat and then get food. But at the minute that's causing a little bit more stress because obviously there's the rules around coronavirus. So that might put me worrying about things on a scale of 1 to 10 around a 6. So things I could do to improve how much that made me worry. I could think about the precautions that I need to take to be able to go. So I need gloves or sanitizer, I need a mask, I need my list so that I know where I'm going to get which bits so that I don't have to wander around unnecessarily. Or I could say, actually, that's not really helping me enough. It's not making me go down the scale any. So therefore, what I actually need to do is find a different way to do my shopping at the moment. So there are other options, obviously, for shopping that are available. So that might be one activity where you can look at a scale and evaluate where it puts you on that scale and what you can do to either make that go down or other ways that you could go about a situation that mean you don't have to go up the scale and things don't have to get any worse. This slide is about mental ill health. So when we're back at school, we're going to have a look at the terms used commonly associated with mental health. You may have heard terms such as depression, anxiety, stress, paranoia. There are lots of these terms. We'll have a look at these in detail when we get back to school. Some of the things we'd like you to bear in mind at the moment are that mental ill health covers lots of different areas and each can be to different extremes. It is different for everyone, but seeking support at all stages is so important. If we can learn how to recognise early signs of some of these illnesses, we can provide support early, and in a lot of cases it can prevent things getting worse. There are lots of people who are affected by mental health and so much support out there. You are never on your own. It is always okay to ask for help. Tip number 4 is about the importance and benefits of exercise. So I'm not going to go on about this one too long because Mr. Priest is going to talk to you a little bit more about this later. But I just wanted to highlight a couple of things that link to our well-being. So one of these is about the fact that exercise actually releases endorphins into our body. So that's chemicals that actually help us to balance out feelings that are difficult to deal with. Spending time outdoors, so this might be getting fresh air, getting time with nature, hearing the birds sing, smelling the fresh air, all those lovely things that can really help our mental health and well-being. And obviously in normal times, not at the moment, but during normal times, community participation, volunteering, service-based activities that help us to give to others can really help improve our levels of well-being and happiness. Number 5 is about self-care and feeling happy. So self-care should be a part of our everyday activities. It probably is for a lot of people that perhaps just don't realise that they fall under this self-care umbrella. What this means is making time for you, prioritising activities which recharge you. This might include making time for rest, spending time with family and friends. Obviously this is tricky at the moment with the current guidelines, but as long as we follow these and socialise with those in our household, and then also using phone calls to speak to friends, making sure that we have time for hobbies and interests, things that you enjoy and gives your mind time to relax. So it's probably no surprise to you that I enjoy drawing. Whilst I'm drawing, I focus in on nothing else. I'm just zoomed in on what I'm doing, the task I'm currently drawing, adapting, changing, making it look right, and gives my mind time to relax from all those other things, all those other tasks that I might have to do in that day. Mindfulness and grounding are also incredible techniques to give your mind time out. So if we imagine that we'd run a marathon, our legs would be tired, we would feel like we need to lie down, we might be aching, and we'd actually give ourselves time to recover. We need to do the same thing for our brains and our minds after each day or during each day. So please make sure that you make time for your mind to rest. Mindfulness is a great way of doing this. A few other suggestions are on the right on that graphic, but there are many, many more. Finding out what these are for you is really important. Okay, so the task for this section is to have a go at creating your own wellbeing toolkit. So you can see there's a visual example on the slide, which is an actual box. Or this could just be something that you create in a list. This list could be on your phone, it could be on a bit of paper. The idea is that you make that list or selection of things that help you to gain a sense of calm. Ideally, these should link in with the 5 senses. So think about things that also help you to find calm in what you see, what you hear, what you smell, etc. This helps us to ground ourselves and get that mindful moment. These should be things which make you feel happy and calm, so they should not cause any stress. They should all be things that make you feel happy. Use this list when you need to. So it might be for 5 minutes, might be for an hour, it might be for a whole day, but you've got this toolkit, this list available to you that you can turn to whenever you need a little bit of calm. My final slide is about support. It's just reminding you that you are never on your own. It's always okay to ask for help. Please don't suffer or worry or panic about things on your own. Please do get some support. So talk to a trusted adult, your parent or guardian at home. Maybe at school you could talk to teachers, tutors, learning managers, Alex the chaplain. There's lots of good resources out there as well. Kooth is a great online resource that's set up to help young people. There's charities such as the charity Young Minds. You could look on the NHS website. There's also the Childline Samaritans websites that all have lots of things that help your well-being.
The following session is about online safety and in particular social networking. Before doing a session like this, it's important to set ground rules so that everybody knows how to behave. So, if you're invited to speak in the chat, choose your words carefully. Use language that will not offend or upset anybody. When you give an opinion, try to explain your answers. Listen to the views of others and show respect to them. If you disagree, comment on what was said, not the person who said it. If something is said in the chat that causes concerns, then we will have to pass this on to another member of staff. Although taking part is important, you can choose not to answer a question or take part in an activity. If you're worried about something that's happened to you or a friend, please don't share it with the group. You can tell a trusted adult after the session. If you feel upset or anxious at any time, you can just put your hand up and ask for time out. Here are some quotes from young people on this slide about their experiences on social media. These quotes are taken from the NCA CEOP and Brook Digital Romance Research. For each quote, write down if you think a young person's experience has been positive or negative and the reasons for your decision. It's easy to share personal information on social media. Some people might use this to bully others or to contact you and lie about being into the same things as you. You may see stereotypes of how men and women should act and look. Social media can portray gender stereotypes, which may make people feel like they need to fit in with what they see online. It's really important to identify what's real and what's not. Social media can give you the impression that everybody has a beautiful body and a perfect life. People's lives are often edited and filtered on social media. Some people lie on social media. There are lots of fake profiles on social networks. People can pretend to be young when actually they're much older. It can be difficult to tell the difference between someone who's genuine and a fake. If you feel uncomfortable, unfollow, block, or report. Report inappropriate contact to social networking sites and block the senders from contacting you. Unfollow users if the content they post has a negative impact on you. There are support services to help young people who are worried about something that's happened online. You can see these support services at the bottom of this slide. And you can also tell an adult you know and trust. This could be your parent or carer, another family member or a teacher. They can help to create a plan to stop the abuse.
Support services for young people also includes Childline. So this service offers lots of information about wellbeing, but also internet safety, online safety, and they can be contacted using the details on screen.
The Mix is another helpline that you can call if you need some support. www.themix.org.uk is a support service for young people up to the age of 25. They have an online chat service, free helpline and a text service, and they provide support for young people with lots of different issues, including mental health, relationships, body image, drugs and alcohol, and school. CEOP are a law enforcement agency which works to keep children and young people safe from sexual abuse and grooming online. Young people can make an online report if they're worried about something that's happened when talking to another person online, and this could be a young person or an adult.
Here's a summary of things to remember from this section. There is an age limit on social media for a reason. Please observe this. When you are old enough, only add people that you know in real life to your social network. Do not add people you do not know. Be kind to others. Be kind to yourself. Be mindful of stereotypes and don't feel pressured into thinking you must behave in a certain way. Be yourself. Block, unfollow or report things that make you feel uncomfortable. And tell a trusted adult immediately if things go wrong.
So the next couple of slides are going to talk about our health, our fitness and our well-being on our day-to-day lives, and how important it is to make sure that all three of those things we take care of. And some things are pretty obvious, but some things aren't as obvious that fall into these categories, and it's important that we look after all three areas to ensure that we have a healthy life. So here are some key terms from our title: health, fitness and well-being. They just describe what each, and it's a definition of what each one of those is. So health, the state of emotional, physical and social well-being. So a lot of people think health is just about not being ill. Okay, it's not just the absence of illness, it's looking at our emotional well-being, our physical well-being and our social well-being. Three categories that are really important, particularly at the moment in the current climate, to focus on. Fitness isn't how big our muscles are or how far we can run. Okay, fitness is the ability to meet the physical demands placed on us by the environment. So everybody's environment is slightly different, depending on the job that you work, depending on how you get to your workplace or how you get to school. So it's meeting the demands of the environment. So for you guys, it's about how do you get to school? Are you able to walk to school? Have you got the fitness to be able to stay awake all day? Have you got the fitness to be able to take part in all of your lessons? Well-being is a state of being comfortable, healthy or happy. Okay, so well-being is looking after your state. Are you happy with how things are going? All right, so it's more looking at our mental well-being. So these three categories are of our health. So our emotional health, our physical health and our social health. Emotional thinks about our mental well-being. Okay, what goes off in our head. Physical is our actual body and how our body responds to exercise and the changes that we can see through exercise to our physical body. And social is our social lives. What impact does exercising, taking part in activities and sport do to our social lives? So let's start with emotional. So increased self-esteem and confidence. Feeling good about yourself, being confident, being comfortable. This comes from through improved image. So if we are exercising and we are feeling healthy, we tend to feel good, we tend to feel better ourselves and more confident. The last one reduces stress. This is key at the moment because everybody's working under different stresses because of the way that we've been asked to work from home or in different groups or online for a lot of people. So exercise has been shown that it can reduce stress levels through endorphins released, through taking your mind away from things. Okay, so reducing stress is a real benefit, emotional benefit of exercise. Our social benefits. Lots of activities are done in groups. Now at the moment, obviously that's limited, but activities are usually done in groups. At the moment you can do it with one other person. In normal times, as it were, you would be able to join groups and make new friends. This leads to feel a bit of a sense of belonging. Alright, so if you feel like you're part of a team, alright, it's good for your social well-being and reduces loneliness. Physical benefits. Okay, so the physical benefits of exercise, the ones that you guys probably relate to the most of when we talk about health. So it reduces the chance of heart disease. Okay, it gives you a healthier blood pressure. Okay, so blood pressure is the pressure that the heart pumps blood around the body through our arteries and our veins. If that pressure is high, it puts our body under a lot of stress. Same with heart disease. Helps to prevent obesity. So physical activity can help reduce the effects of obesity and prevent that from becoming an issue later in life. Reduce the chance of diabetes. Now this is a bit of a strange one. There are two different types of diabetes. There's diabetes that can be treated by your diet and exercise, and diabetes that can't be. Okay, so diabetes that can be managed by your diet and by your activity levels, okay, can be reduce the chance if we are healthier and more active more of the time. Increased fitness, obvious one that we spoke about before. Fitness levels are able to meet the demands of the environment. Increased bone density, less chance of breaking, less chance of brittle bones, less chance of injury, and improved posture. Okay, our posture at the moment is a little bit poor from sitting down a lot, so we need to make sure that we look at our posture. So exercise can help improve your body posture so that you're not leant over, not rolling your shoulders. Chest is out, shoulders are back, head's up. So activity can help improve those things. Okay, so sedentary lifestyle is choices that we make. So we have an active lifestyle and a sedentary lifestyle. If you have a sedentary lifestyle, that means there is little or no physical activity. Okay, so some of the things I've listed here include watching TV, just sitting, using a computer loads, reading, playing on computer games, for most of the day with no vigorous physical activity. Now, again, because of the current situation, we are being forced to use more computers and more online learning. So what you need to make sure that you do each day is that you give yourselves time to exercise between 30 to 60 minutes each day away from screens and exercising so that your heart rate increases, so that your body doesn't become sedentary. So because living a sedentary lifestyle can contribute to many health conditions that are preventable at worst case scenario cause of death. Now the last few things, okay, we spoke about on the benefits. Literally sedentary lifestyle, the conditions and the health conditions that are associated with sedentary lifestyle are pretty much the opposite of everything we've just spoke about on that previous slide. So you need to make sure that you're giving yourself time away from your screens, away from your phones, getting outside into some fresh air and making sure that you are accessing the environment around you and getting that 30 to 60 minutes of activity each day away from your phones, away from your computer games, and not just sitting all the time. The second part that I want to talk about is our balanced diet. Okay, so our diet. So people get confused with the word diet and associate the word diet with restricting what you can eat. So a balanced diet is a diet that contains the correct proportions of carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals and water necessary to maintain good health. So a diet isn't about not eating chocolate or not eating sugar or not eating carbohydrates. A diet is what we take into our body on a daily basis. So a little bit of a task for you is, can you identify from these pictures which categories that you think that they fall into? Okay, so we've got carbohydrates, we've got fats, we've got proteins, vitamins, minerals, fiber and water. So which of those do we think, on those pictures, do they fall into? Okay, so this is a really important slide talking about our calorie intake and our energy balance. Okay, so calorie intake and energy balance. As you can see from the diagram, it talks about a balanced weight gain and weight loss. This is about how many calories we burn a day and how many calories we get from our diet. So the components of our diet that we just spoke about, from the 7 different nutrients, from the foods that we get and what categories they fall into, the amount of each of those has a calorie amount connected to them. What we put into our bodies is like fuel. So imagine a car. So if you are putting fuel into your car, you will get a certain amount of miles. your body is exactly the same. You are putting in fuel and you will get a certain amount of energy from that fuel. Sometimes though you can put too much fuel in, so your calories eaten, okay, becomes more than your calories burned, okay, and that's how we gain weight. If our calories eaten are more than our calories burnt, we will lose weight. If they are equal, our weight is balanced, and that's what we should be aiming for the majority of the time, is a balanced weight. This depends on your lifestyle. So everybody has what we call a metabolic rate, okay, a basic metabolic rate. And what that means is our basic metabolic rate is the amount of calories that we need to be able to function at rest. So from just sitting, your body needs a certain amount of calories and a certain amount of fuel to function, okay, and it's normally for teenagers between 1600 calories to 2000 calories. If our lifestyle is sedentary, we need less calories, okay, so we need those as a base, but if we exercise, we need more calories because we burn more calories. So if you go for a run, you will burn more calories and therefore need more fuel, so your calorie intake increases. Okay, so a bit of an activity for you to do is, how many calories do we think are in these items? So you can guess the amount of calories in them, and then using the chat function, you're going to put whether you think it is higher or lower than the previous amount of calories in the item. So we've got a Mars bar there, which is 260 calories, and then what do you think? Do you think the apple will be higher or lower? So that has been a bit of a whistle-stop tour of health, fitness and well-being, and including some diet. We will go into more detail as we go through the year, and through your PSHE lessons you will get a bit more information about that, but it's a good introduction of what our health is and how important it is and the different categories. Some questions for you to complete there, and then on the next slide there's some useful links if you want to find out more information. And as always, if you need any more information, you know where myself or Mrs. Jones to help you with any well-being stuff. And if you've got any questions about anything on these last few slides, please do let me know.
Hello, Mr. Dilks here. Welcome to your PSHE session on Samworth Church Academy's Vision and Values. So this graphic is something you see a lot around school, and there's a big sign on the stairs that says "Be the best you can be." This is our vision for you at the Samworth Church Academy. These 5 school values point towards helping you to be the best you can be. And our 5 school values of forgiveness, vocation, respect, positivity and service are all based on the teachings of Jesus Christ. Now this word Christ that comes up a lot, this comes up a lot in our explanations of our values, and sometimes if we look at the word Christ as being love, like loving all things, it can sometimes make the values make a bit more sense. So number 1, positivity. So I thought it was a good place to start, because at these difficult times at the moment where we might be cooped up at home, it can sometimes be very difficult to remain positive and see positivity in all things. Now in terms of positivity, it says on this slide, developing a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. Okay, so it's trying to make sure we can see the positive side of everything. So if I take being in lockdown at the moment, during the last lockdown I found it very difficult being at home, not being able to get out, not even being able to go to work. I found it very difficult. But then on reflection, when I look back, I realised that I got to spend so much time with my family. I got to spend time playing in the garden with my children, a lot more than I would do if I was at work until 4:30 every day. So this time round I'm appreciating that bit of time, more time at home that I have. Respect, something we talk about a lot at Samworth Church Academy. We talk about you guys respecting their environment, respecting the community, respecting your teachers, being respectful of each other, respect yourselves, and we know as teachers that you like to be respected too. You know, it's something you use your voices about a lot, like you want to be respected. Okay. Now, showing respect for one another sometimes takes us to see the bigger picture and know that some days people aren't always feeling great, and they might not react in the way you like, but we've got to be eternally respectful and try and be tolerant of each other. Jesus was a perfect example of someone who respected everyone, regardless of who they were, regardless of what they did. And it's important that we look for that in everyone. You know, be respectful in every way. So service is something you might think, oh, it's an easy one. You know, I cook my mum and dad dinner, or I've raised money for charity, box ticked. But truly serving others is to make sure whatever you do is kind of selfless. So rather than being selfish and doing things for yourself, so some people might think, I'm going to raise money for charity and for service and feel really good about that. But it's got to be that you're doing things for the sake of others, not for your own personal benefit. And that is the true way to serve. So it could even be that, you know, one way of service is just being an ear for your friend, to listen to them and be there for them. Vocation. A lot of you find this one a little bit confusing. You're not quite sure what vocation means. Vocation often becomes known as what job you do in life now. So finding your vocation is about what job you do. Now, finding your true vocation in life can lead to what job you do. So if I use mine as an example, I've always felt compelled to play music, and as I got a little bit older, I realised I wanted people to have the same positive experiences I've had in music, and my route to that, to fulfilling that vocation, was to become a music teacher. So my vocation has led to the career I've chosen. So I've been very lucky that that's my vocation. For some of you, your vocation might simply be that you want to serve other people. You want to help other people, and that can lead to jobs like in medicine or in the police. It could be that you want to bring people joy through food, so you become a chef. So finding your true vocation isn't necessarily just saying what job you're going to do, but certainly finding your vocation in life, what you feel compelled to do, can direct you in what career path you choose. So I've left forgiveness till last because it's the one that we all find the most difficult. Forgiveness is hard. Forgiveness takes a lot of effort on you know, mentally on your part. If someone's upset you, to forgive them is a very hard thing to do. And I think it's important to look at the slide here. It says restoring wholeness and healing through Christ is forgiveness. And at the start I mentioned that if we see Christ as love, if we read it now as restoring wholeness and healing through love is forgiveness, showing that endless love for others can really help with forgiveness. And it's kind of, again, some of the words in this slide saying empathy, understanding, looking at the bigger picture, realizing why some people might have upset you. It might be part of a bigger problem for them, and forgiveness is a good way to help each other. Often if you are holding a grudge against someone, you're carrying a burden around with you, and when you forgive someone, you can let go of that burden and move on and start to rebuild. So I'll come back to this slide and be the best you can be, because it's important to realise that yes, we want you to achieve brilliantly academically and get the great results, but we also want the Sandwith is for you guys to be really good, well-rounded human beings, and we believe through the teaching of Jesus Christ that these values can help you achieve to truly be the best you can be in all sense of the word, not just academic achievement, being able to respect and serve each other, through the power of forgiveness, finding your actual talents. This is all stuff that can point towards you being the best you can be.
Hi guys, welcome to your career session today for PSHE Day. Today we're going to be talking about setting yourself up for success when choosing option subjects. You probably know by now that you choose your option subjects in year 9 and you will take these in year 10 and 11. So today we're going to look at the different option subjects that we have here at Samworth, ones you might be interested, some you might not have ever heard about, and we're just going to explore a little bit more about what to think about when you're choosing your option subjects. So what I want you to think about now are all the different GCSE subjects that you can take here at Samworth. Which ones are you required to take? Which ones are your options? Go ahead and put them in the chat box now for us. See how many you can list or think of. They don't have to be the ones that you're going to take, just ones that you can think of that we offer here. So, how did you do? Hopefully you came up with quite a few of these. There might be some that you haven't heard of that you didn't get on the list, but hopefully you came up with a lot of them. There might be new ones that you didn't know about till now, and you're like, actually, that looks really interesting. So just have a read through, see all the different options that you can take, that you might be interested in taking. There are also some subjects that are not on here that you do have to take, and you probably know those ones already. So the ones you have to take are English, English literature, and English language. You have to take maths. You have to take science. And you have to take RS. Those are your core subjects that you have to take. You also have to do core PE as well. So what I want us to do now is I want to start thinking about what do we need to think about when choosing our option subjects. The first thing that probably comes to mind is what do you want to do in the future? If you have an idea of a career or what you want to do for A-levels, college, apprenticeship, this could play into your option choices. If you know what you want to do, so if you have a career definitely in mind, you can look on websites and they will tell you, oh, these would be some good GCSEs to take. If you're not sure what you want to do, you can still go on these websites and just kind of browse and see the ones that maybe a lot of different careers would be interested in. You don't have to know what you're going to do for a career right now, but start thinking about maybe what sector you're interested in. Maybe you're really interested in public health and you want to go into some sort of medicine, or maybe you're interested in being an electrician. So if there's any fields, you can still explore. What I want you to do now is you're going to pause here and I want you to think about, for the following professions, what GCSEs do you think will be helpful? It doesn't mean you have to do them. It just means, hey, that might play into it. So think of them, and then if you could put in the chat box what you think for maybe an airline pilot, a joiner or carpenter, a chef, and a dog groomer. Go ahead and think about those now. So hopefully you were able to think of some GCSEs that would apply to all 4 of these different careers. And let's go through now and see if what I have on the screen matches what you said. Again, these are just suggestions. It doesn't mean you have to take these ones. They're just some options you might want to think about. Of course, you probably know for all of these, you're going to need maths and English. They apply across the board for any career that you want. You need to be able to do your basic maths and English skills. The higher the grades you get in maths and English, the better your chances are for whatever career that you want. Science is also key for most careers, especially for an airline pilot, physics. That's very important. Some possible option subjects that you might be interested in taking, maybe a foreign language. If you are traveling around the world, communicating with people from around the world, whether it's while you're flying or working directly in an airport, it might be helpful to have a foreign language. Along with computer science and geography, those could both apply here. Pilots often use computer science and a lot of computers and a lot of simulations, so that might help. as well as geography, learning about the different parts of the world, or if you're going to be a domestic pilot, different parts of the UK. If you want to be a carpenter or joiner, again, maths, English, and science, you'll see that is a trend here. Some option subjects you might want to take, but again, don't have to. Art, design and technology, construction. I'm sure you probably got a few of those. As a carpenter, it's really important that you are able to have attention to detail. It's helpful if you're creative. And of course, construction might be a pathway for different people. So hopefully you were able to think of some GCSEs for these two professions as well. Again, with a chef, maths, English, and science are really important, especially if you are calculating measurements, scaling recipes, obviously reading the recipes, writing down the recipes, making up menus. Those are all really important as a chef. Option subjects that you might be interested in taking. I'm sure a lot of you thought of food science, the food science preparation and nutrition. Foreign language, depending on where you want to cook, the different meals and cuisines, that might be helpful to you. Photography, perhaps you are planning on making a resume as a chef and you want to photograph your food. Maybe you are interested in running a food website or even a cookbook one day. What about dog groomer? Hopefully you had maths, English, and science now. Biology could be really helpful here, especially as they study the systems of organisms in biology. Option subjects you might want to take. Business studies. Maybe you're going to set up your own dog grooming business one day. Maybe you're going to go and partner with someone else with it. That might be helpful to take. Animal management. I'm sure a lot of you thought of that. And health and social care. When you're dealing with customers, when you're dealing with people from different backgrounds that you're not sure and you want to be able to communicate and connect with them, health and social care might help. So after we've thought about the future, we're thinking about, these might be some subjects I'm interested in. The next step you're going to want to take is talk to people. Ask your teachers, your parents, older students at the school who have taken those courses, or a career advisor, which we have here at school, about different option subjects. They can help give you information about courses, talk about their experience, especially if you ask other students, how did you like this option? They can tell you, yes, this is what went really well, and these were the hard things. They can answer any questions you have. It's always good to talk to people. You'll be getting a lot more information on all of these different subjects throughout your near future. So it's best to start thinking about it now, asking around. And lastly, of course, what is most important is that you do what is best for you. At the end of the day, you just need to do what's going to be best for you in your future. Just because your friends are doing different option subjects and it's always really tempting to jump in on whatever your friends are doing so you can have the same classes together. Maybe your favorite teacher is teaching an option course you want to take. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do the ones you originally had in mind. But what's also really important to remember is that no matter what options in GCSEs you do take, you can always change your mind about your career in the future. So just because you decided to take photography and you realize actually that doesn't tie in, it's not going to hurt you. You just want to do the best you can in whatever option subjects you take. Here are some resources that you can check out. If you want to go on any of these websites, they're really helpful looking at different careers, what different careers offer, and just start thinking about what different careers there are in the world. There are thousands and millions of careers out there, and it's worth looking into the ones that you think might be part of your future one day. Thank you guys so much. You did a wonderful job today. I'm assuming you've done a wonderful job. If you have any questions, you can email me. We can talk about your future and options, and I can help with anything you might need. All right, thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Okay, so that concludes today's PSHE session. Thank you very much for listening and taking part. The main thing we'd like you to take away from this is that if you need any extra support in any capacity, it's out there for you. Please speak to your parent or guardian, a trusted adult, speak to your teachers, your tutors, your learning managers, and we can offer support to help you with any of the issues that might have been raised during this session or with any other area that you need help with. Thank you very much. Have a great day.